The real us, the bright one. A couple of months ago, actually shortly before our wedding anniversary, my wife decided to tell me she was walking out. She wasn't sure how she felt anymore. No preamble, no discussion. This was shortly after my father passed away. I was, and still am, struggling deeply with that loss as it is. I obviously was blown away. I asked what was wrong, what had changed. I was told she didn't know. I found out later that was a lie. Anyway, I told her I wanted her to be happy but that we had a lifetime behind us, 20 years together and 15 married, that had to be worth fighting for, and 2 beautiful kids who would be devastated too. She seemed to reconsider and said she wanted to try. I looked into couples therapy and printed out things to help. She said she'd read it and we'd talk. Weeks passed, then months, and I waited. I asked if she wanted to talk, to go out, to do anything, but theirs was always an excuse for no, for not trying, for just getting on with her life and me coasting with my non-existence whilst I waited. Then obviously I got ill, pretty ill, not being able to eat ill, not being able to retain what I did eat ill, losing 20 pounds in 3 to 4 weeks without trying ill, being told that cancer is a possible, but not the only one, there's still less sinister ones, option ill, and lots of medical stuff happening. So, I pushed the issue and told my partner of 20 years and wife of 15 years we had to talk, and that I knew there was a problem. Because I am not stupid, I told her not to lie to me, to do me the courtesy of not treating me like I'm stupid. She did both. She told me she hadn't been cheating on me. She instead said she'd only been doing some harmless sexting with someone, a friend, because she was bored. She said this to my face. She lied to my face. For a couple of hours, I sat with this lie, then couldn't anymore and told her, point blank, that I knew she was lying. So, she admitted that for the last few months, from before she told me there were any problems, she's been cheating on me with someone else. This started not long after my dad died. It continued before my son's birthday, before our wedding anniversary, while I was ill. Then I found out it actually started nearly 20 years ago, before we even got married, with the same guy. She met this guy at work when we first moved to a new house, when we were only engaged, and she had a fling with him, married me, then picked up again 5 months ago, for a bit of fun, while telling me we were working on things. Then, just today, I found out she's also been sexting for a while with a long-term friend of mine. Again, very explicit stuff, and it turns out she had a short-term physical affair, fling with him about 15 years ago. So, all this time I've been friends with him without knowing too. So, yeah, that's my life, or what's left of it, right now. She says she doesn't know why she did the first 2 years ago, just it was fun, and the recent thing because she felt our related got complacent and lost its way, so wanted that fun back again. I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. I'm completely lost. The only blessing here is that I 100% know that mine, because, due to medical reason, both have required blood and genetic testing for other things. From the DNA point of view, it is 100% certain. I share a genetics team with my kids, and one of them has inherited a rare disease from me, which the other had to be tested for, meant testing my dad at the same time. So, the kids are definitely mine. At the moment, while it was very tempting, I have not contacted or spoken to anyone else about this, including the other partners, wives involved. Part of me thinks they deserve to know, but part of me doesn't want them to go through this pain. As for my will, life insurance, she's still the mother of my kids, so, whatever happens to me, she's who I want looking after them and where my money would end up. I don't see a need to change that. No matter what she's done to me, she is a good mom. Both guys have been told I know, and all contact has ceased, and been told to stay that way. I find out on Friday about my medical prognosis. I've told her not to come with me, even though she did say she wanted to. Not sure she'd be allowed in anyway. My comment, just kick her out. 20 years of affair. I don't even know where to begin for this one. She wasted 20 years of your life. Let's not waste another 20 years. Story 2. Something is wrong with me. For the last 2 weeks or so I've been having a hard time. 1. Getting out of bed. 2. Accomplishing anything done around the house. 3. Being intimate with my husband, although I am pleasuring myself solo more than usual. Sorry if that's TMI. 4. Grooming. I only work PT, so I admit I have more free time than most women, but this was the lifestyle my husband and I agreed to. He's always supported it. It's a good fit for me because I love all things domestic. Or, at least, I used to. I love to cook, clean, organize, etc. I used to take pride in making healthy meals, keeping a clean home, and making future plans. I also used to try very hard to take care of myself, nails done, hair done. I told myself I'd never turn into one of those wives who comes home, puts her hair in a bun and plops on the couch only to offer heat and eat style meals with no sex for dessert due to being too tired or whatever. Now, before I anger anyone on here by the above paragraph, let me say that I respect how other people want to live their lives, and if you fit the description above, I don't mean any disrespect. It's just not how I wanted to turn out. Some women think being a stay-at-home wife, part-time or full-time, like myself, is a wasted life, and I'm not offended. We choose to live our lives the way we want to, you know. My issue is that what used to make me happy no longer does, and I don't know what to do. I know the reason for my unhappiness is because I feel so unappreciated. Like what I do isn't worth anything. What's the point in trying so hard if it's not mandatory? My husband thanks me for his meals, made bed, etc. And I know he used to brag to his friends about how he had a happy wife waiting for him at home. But if I were to stop doing all of these things, I don't think he'd even notice. I feel like the way I want to live my life, the things that are important to me as mentioned above, don't mean crap to him. I'm starting to find it so much easier to slip into that wife I never wanted to be. To come home, laze around because I had a hard day at work and order takeout. I wish he'd tell me that not cooking or cleaning or taking care of myself isn't acceptable. I work PT and, in all honesty, the majority of the domestic duties should fall on me, but it's like he doesn't have that expectation of me. His sister is the type of woman I said I never wanted to be, although I'm slowly turning into her. I admit her existence is a huge source of stress for me. She's actually single with 2 children. Anyway, I hate how he's constantly supporting her decisions. We see her at least every other week and I don't want to be around her. She stays in her pajamas all day and watches reality TV while her children do. I'm not sure what. She orders pizza 3x divided by week and smokes around her baby. I've told him I don't like visiting her because her lifestyle is something I don't support and I just find it uncomfortable overall being there. Her house is trashed and there's never anywhere to sit. I have to move garbage or clothes from the couch. I think I'm jealous of all the support she gets from people whereas I get crap all. I get ignored. We're told I'm high maintenance. I never, though being high maintenance was a bad thing. Why am I so unacceptable? But a smoking mother living off takeout is okay. She doesn't work, either. I'm over here working my tits off to be a Stepford wife and my husband doesn't care. I admit my feelings are insane, but I think I'm subconsciously mimicking her behavior because I just want someone to notice me, to tell me that I was doing the right thing, that I'm making the right decisions. This whole pajama lifestyle is so much easier than what I was trying to accomplish. I don't think I even make sense. Sorry for this strange post. Maybe I'm just like a child, acting out in order to get attention. But I feel like I need attention and support and I'm not getting it and I just want to give up and sleep all day. I do take birth control and a few weeks ago my packet got wet, dropped it in the toilet, so I lost a few days of pills. I'm not sure if that's enough to throw off all of my hormones. It's also why I haven't been intimate. I needed to wait for the cycle to regulate so I'd be fully protected. This is another thing I have an issue with. I take protecting myself from unwanted pregnancy very seriously, and my husband just makes me feel paranoid or stupid for damaging the pill pack. But when I make a comment about how if his sister was more careful, she wouldn't have 2 kids from 2 different dads, suddenly I'm a heartless bee. It's another area I don't feel supported in. I don't think I suffer from depression. We did just get hit with our first snowfall and the days are short now, but I think it affects me the same way it affects most people. I don't think I can blame the weather. You're finding that wasn't the best decision. I do have a job. I just don't work 50 hours a week. I work 30 to 35. I contribute financially. We actually have more than most because we both made a decent wage. Well, I make decent and he makes a lot. We're not in want of anything, but we can't go out and buy a new house, either. I'd say we're pretty comfortable. Maybe I really can blame the birth control and change in weather on my behavior. I've only been like this for 2 weeks, but it's a 2 weeks so very unlike me. I'm usually up at 7 a.m. I start work at 10 a.m., preparing some meal, cleaning or exercising. But all I do now is sleep. I did get checked out for a vitamin B deficiency a few months ago but have been taking the appropriate medication to balance it out. I have an appointment with my doctor in the new year to retest. I've also lost a bit of weight. I am trying to figure this out. I don't think I'm bored. Like I said, I do work, but part-time. I actually like my job. A lot of my hobbies, and therefore my identity, are tied up in domestic things. Cooking, cleaning, etc. I don't just surface clean. I clean inside and out and I do a lot of home staging. I also cook full-on gourmet meals. Again, I used to. Now I just sleep. I also play competitive sports 2 times a week. I've been having a hard time showing up to games, though. I have to force myself. Oddly enough, my teams are doing so well so it's not like playing isn't enjoyable. The source is 2 weeks ago my sis-in-law had a baby. Another baby with no father, I should add. This is a huge source of conflict for me because her decisions concerning children violate my entire moral code. I don't think any more detail on this is required, but I can give it if anyone needs it for clarification. In sum, everything I believe in she and his family don't. My husband is the exception. Otherwise, I never would have married him. I know I can't tell people how to live their lives and everyone is entitled to their own beliefs, but I don't want to be around a group of people that aren't on the same page as me concerning finances, child rearing, housekeeping, spousal relationships, health, etc. I've always differed from them on this and my husband says he wants to be like me concerning these life approaches, but sometimes, I doubt him. Or I'm terrified he doesn't actually want what I want. Up until this baby we had put sufficient space between them so I thought things were okay, but now he wants to go there every weekend. No, I don't want to spend my setters like that. When I tell him to go without me, he gets so upset. His sister's husband doesn't get on with their family either, and he never goes to any social calls, events, etc. I'm jealous of him, too, although I'd never want the relationship he and his wife have, but that's another issue altogether. I think that's why I'm rebelling by being lazy. I want him to tell me it's not okay to come home, hop into my pajamas and sit on the couch. There's dinner to be made, a house to be cleaned, a dog to be walked, bonding to have, etc. This is how his two sisters and mother live, and I always told him how unfitting for me it was. His mother didn't work at all and played Candy Crush all day, just to give an example. Now that this is all off my chest, I need to shut up. Like the above poster's tagline, not my circus, not my clowns. They're not going anywhere, so I need to learn how to cope. I don't need my husband's validation. It'd be nice to have, but the only person you have in this world is yourself, so I need to embrace that without resenting my husband. As far as husbands go, he's more useful and attentive than most, so although this is a big issue, it's one issue and I have to let it go. It has to start with me and my attitude. I'm a very blunt and straightforward person, so we definitely talked about day-to-day expectations before we got married. I said, verbatim, I will not spend every weekend with your family or mine. We're young and child-free, and now is the time to travel, spend time with friends, etc. He agreed in words, but not in action to my satisfaction. He goes off every chance he can get to spend time with his family, and that bothers me. It even hurts my feelings. I wish it didn't, but it really does. Why? Because how one chooses to spend their time is a reflection of their hobbies, personality, future plans, desires, etc. I told him I wanted him to go make a friend, spend time with healthy, happy, and functioning people. I'm terrified we're going to get dragged down with his family if we keep in such constant contact with them. I'm the type of person who gets very affected by my environment. My husband can shrug off their toxicity, but I leave feeling anxious, depressed, and overall paranoid for my future. It works both ways too, in that if I'm in a happy and healthy environment, I feed off it. He got off work early today due to a snowstorm, and he came home, plowed through some cleaning, which I know is just to please me and shut me up, and go off and visit them. He doesn't want to be here, and I don't want him to be here if he doesn't want to. If they were offering some grand life that was better than what we have, I wouldn't care so much. I'd probably go over and join him. But they don't offer anything, and it makes me feel like I offer even less. I don't want to feel like they poop on poop. Yes, I'm calling them poop, but if you knew these people, you'd understand. I wish I could compare it to something, but it's almost like getting passed over for a promotion at work because your co-worker is full of sob stories, hard times, etc., but has no real skills for the job. I don't like feeling like this. Aside, he doesn't really say much about my family because they're all relatively normal. We also don't spend that much time with them. I consider it a normal amount. My mom has also helped him out and supported him more than his own family ever has, and I know he loves having her, but is embarrassed his family doesn't do for him what she does. You know, those people who latch onto people who treat them like garbage and neglect the ones who treat them well. That's what I feel like is going on, and it's rattling me to the core. One thing I hate in life are hypocrites, and it would be extremely hypocritical of me to be angry with him for not supporting who I am. Like someone with higher standards than his family, when I'm not supporting who he is. Like someone willing to love people beneath his standards. It's almost like we're not accepting each other, or we are. My biggest issue is I don't feel valued for being who I am and believing in what I believe in, but I guess I'm doing the exact same thing to him. It's pretty enlightening to realize I've been a big old hypocrite. Maybe it does have to start with me. Now that I feel more equal, and that he's treating me the way I'm treating him, I think I can want to change my attitude towards them. Thank you so much for saying you wouldn't want to be around them, either. It really is them against me, so I always end up feeling like a monster for disliking them because no one gets me. However, I think he would choose me, and I think that's why I'm pushing him. He's chosen me before, and that I got him to completely cut off contact with them completely when they were at their most toxic. It was during our wedding planning, and I straight up didn't want them bringing me down during that happy time in my life. I don't regret pushing him for that. Maybe when we have a baby, I can insist further separation for our safety, but now I think I'll just submit. They're not going to bring me down if I don't let them, and I just have to support him but be on my guard and not let them be too involved in our lives. There's so much I want to say about them. If I can't get validation and confirmation from my husband that they're complete nut jobs, maybe I'll feel better if I get it from people on the internet. But that's probably not the healthiest approach, either. I have to get something off of my chest ASAP before I return home to my husband. Was running errands all day. I have to get this off my chest before I lose my crap. First of all, I'm an animal activist. I feel very strongly for animals, and my dog is literally my child. Another issue I've had with his family, yes, another issue, is how irresponsible they are with pets. In the past 12 months they've rehomed a husky, an English bulldog, and 2 cats. When my husband and I were looking for a new place last year, we asked his mother, before she ex herself, if she wanted us to take the husky. She didn't walk him, and they were also moving to a much smaller house with no yard, so he'd need to be walked. She never walked him, and I knew she never would, but it wasn't an issue in their old house because they had a huge lot. She said no way was I taking that dog from her. Okay, When we were choosing between two houses, I gave her one final conversation about this dog. One house had a huge lot, the other did not, and if she didn't want her husky, we'd take the house with the bigger lot and the husky. Nope, she didn't budge. 6 months later, after they've moved into their new house with no yard, she gave the dog away. Got tired of his fur and having to take him out. Seriously. Then she bought an English bulldog. Got rid of him because he was too hyper. I told her the second she brought that dog home they were a high-maintenance breed. They're not for lazy people. Another dog gone. Then she got a cat. Got rid of it because it threw up all over the house one day. His sister moved 3 times in 1 year. She had a small dog. When we saw this dog 3 months ago, it looked like one of those starving animals you see on the commercials. When I told her she needed to take him to the vet ASAP, her response was she couldn't afford it. Then she bought pizza. Okay, I told her I'd be willing to take the dog to the vet in lieu of getting her children Christmas presents. I also told her that this dog will die if she doesn't seek care. I even threatened to call the SPCA on her. She was not having this. Anyway, I just learned the dog died of starvation. This dog lost her teeth and was terrorized by new cats, which she also plans to get rid of. She didn't even take the dog to the vet. But she had a couple $100 to order food for her birthday tomorrow. Can you seriously blame me for disliking and wanting to spit on these people? You know what else? She will get another dog. I know she will. I woke up feeling really sad and angry and guilty. I want to hit her and scream at my husband for not allowing me to take the dog because it wasn't our problem, because I think the dog could have been saved if taken to a vet. My guess is she needed to change her food to a specific diet that was more friendly to her physically, due to not having teeth, and biologically, she was an extra small dog and small breeds aren't always okay at eating cheap grocery store brands. Aside, I have a small dog and she eats anything, so I'm not hating on basic brands. But as a pet owner, you should be able to tell whether or not what you're giving the animal is working. If they're throwing up constantly, clearly that product is not working. The last issue is that she refused to surrender the pet. When she was complaining about not having enough money, due to just having a baby, to take the dog to the vet, I told her the Humane Society will take the pet as a surrender if she goes and explains herself. I'm not giving up my dog, was her response. So, to the poster who told me to be a less judgmental and more open, or whatever, my answer is no. The dog was the last straw for me. I'm tired of trying to like them. Tired of trying to figure out what's wrong with me for not liking them and how to fix it. They don't deserve that kind of attention or effort. They're almost inhumane. Don't even get me started on how before his mother herself she racked up credit debt and tried to cheat on their dad. No, I'm just going to work on indifference. I'm just going to work on a way to let them exist without letting them affect me. The problem is, we're supposed to visit them later. I don't want to. All that happens whenever we visit is hours go by and I ask to leave and my husband says, already. So I'm made to feel like a bee for wanting to get out of there. Don't even get me started on the food they ordered. I can't eat it. I'm on the toilet for days, so I have to roll up with a salad looking like an absolute jerk. We'll also end up sitting on the floor because she doesn't have furniture. Why am I the ass for not wanting to eat crap? Or to sit on the floor? It's not like I can sit on my phone and drown them out, either. He doesn't like that. But we're not talking about anything, either. Usually just gossip about neighbors. It's so unfair. His other sister's husband dislikes them all as well, and he never goes to any of these things. But if I don't, my husband gets so upset. Why even want me there when I clearly don't want to be there? Why can't he just let me stay home without it being a big deal? Why are my reasons to want to stay home and not see them so invalid? If we only saw them once a month, I could handle myself, but every other week, sometimes every week, is too much. Half a year later, I don't think my husband has ever been a conversationalist, whereas I could talk non-stop for days. However, like all couples when we first started dating, he was more interested in pleasing and humoring me, so he participated in conversations. Over the last 6 months, however, I've realized I talk at him, not to him. Herein lies the problem. I quote, "am the one who has changed. Talking at him no longer satisfies me. It feels lonely." I understand his confusion because the way we communicated before was good enough, but it just isn't now. I'm trying to take responsibility for the fact that my needs have changed and his hasn't, and to forgive, accept the fact that the entertaining, humoring phase is over and done with. He's comfortable to talk very little, but it's like he resents me for not needing him to talk to me anymore. He's always asking what's wrong because I'm just quieter at home. Not mute, but pretty businesslike in that I dialogue the basics. If I'm super passionate about something, I'll talk, but his response, or lack thereof, makes the passion fizzle and I'd rather just not talk. So, I've started parroting him. Basically, he'll get what he gives. We spend Sundays separate with our families, and normally I go on and on about my day and the things I did with my mom, etc. But when I ask him how his visit went, he'll say good. I have no idea how he spent his time. It's always been like this, so I'd ask question after question just to get an idea of how things went for him. I'm tired of sounding like I'm interrogating him when all I want to know is how his day went, so I'll respond with good and then he'll pester me asking what's wrong. I told him, straight up, that I'm done talking at him. I'm not mad. I just accept he is who he is, and I'd rather keep my word limit down than blather on and feel like no one is actually listening to me and I'm just being used to fill the silence. Also, I don't care how his day went. If he doesn't want to tell me, I'm not fighting to get it out of him. Anyway, my new attitude is leaving him feeling pretty confused. On one hand, I think he's happy to have the pressure off of him to entertain me a good conversation. But on the other, I think he feels defeated, like he can't satisfy me. I can't win. I try hard to take pressure off him, take accountability for my needs versus his needs, and personally, I feel awesome. It's so refreshing not to feel like you're annoying someone or pestering them to respond. I feel free, but it's not all about me, so I'm not sure if I should keep this up or adjust some more. The woman I stopped liking and was trying to change was the aggressive, confrontational, control freak. Now, here I am, all accepting and easygoing and low maintenance in terms of what I expect from my husband. I have a birthday coming up and I actually have no expectations. That's how defeated I feel. Like I'll do whatever I do and get whatever I get and apply no pressure to my husband to actually deliver. I'm more excited to spend my birthday with my mom and my dog than him. Now that I don't expect him to talk, it's like he can't accept it, and I'm not sure if it's fixing the problem. Although I do feel better. I don't want to make him feel worse. But no matter what I do, I can't seem to make him feel good. But I'm starting to wonder if I should just stop worrying about him so much. I calculate everything I do or say on behalf on him. Honestly debating on if I just want to be selfish and take care of my needs. No, not cheating, just my emotional needs. I'm just so angry at him. I feel like I've done more than enough evolution as a person to cater to his needs, and he am not doing crap for me. For example, we've always had an agreement that expenses were to be shared 70-30 because he made more money than I do and I like to be involved in the domestic things. I worked, past tense, part-time because we thought we'd be homeowners by now and immediately try to have a baby, but no such luck thanks to the market, and my current job is perfect for school hours. Also, very easy to get back into after mat leave as it's not really stressful. Anyway, he confessed to me a few months ago that he's tired of shouldering the majority of the financial responsibility. He said sometimes he wished he could be the one to get spoiled. What did I do? I got another job and 3 weeks later and I now work as much as him. But is he grateful? No. He'll tell me he's proud of me for juggling both jobs, but he's also bitter that I don't cook as often. Are you kidding me? I've spent over $1,000 this month alone on outings for us just so he could feel spoiled. They were things I wanted to do, yes, but I paid for them. I'm giving him what he wants and I barely get a thank you. And he can't force himself to have a conversation with me. But I have to force myself to accept that he's not a conversationalist. So, typing this out, yes, I guess I am resentful, but I also feel entitled to be so because I've put in so much effort. I am direct. I'm so direct it's painful. Then he accuses me of being bossy because I will say verbatim, I want this, do this like that, thank you. I'm telling you, I can't win. We're currently fighting over meals. Seriously, I value being a healthy eater and not spending a lot of money outside sources, fast food, and he does not. He'll say he does, but he'll physically go eat McDonald's, whereas you can't pay me to go there. His actions do not line up with his words. I think he wants to be like me, from a health promotion perspective, but he's not sure how to do it unless I lead him. I'll lead him and he'll fight me on the way. This goes back to his upbringing. He'll be mad at me for bashing the way they lived. His mother lived on KFC and so did the whole family. One day, he'll admit they lived on that stuff, the other is in denial, and he hates me for wanting to be better than them. Now that I'm working a lot off evenings, I invested in a health meal service. It's cheap and costs about half in comparison to eating out every day, but he says he doesn't like the food. He wants to be healthy, but then he'll crap on me for organizing it. This is a big issue for me right now. I'm currently spending phenomenal amounts of money on microblading, Botox, injections, etc. Maybe it has little to do with getting attention from others. I don't ever really remember needed it before, but I always got it, so maybe it's just adjusting to the fact that it's changed, and more to do with no accepting the aging process. I play competitive soccer with a lot of 21-year-old athletes, and honestly, I think it's messing with my head. My physical appearance and health aren't the issue. That's actually what's kind of haunting me. If I had turned into a frumpy wife forever wearing her hair in a bun, I could understand never getting attention from the opposite gender again, but I haven't. I've worked very hard. It's so crushing to just be invisible. My comment, it's sad that you think of yourself as gone to seed at age 31. Even sadder is that you seek lust from men other than your husband, whom you say treats you well. How about this? One day you cross the line and cheat on him and he dumps you in a big dramatic and sad episode. You are crying about your love for him. You start a campaign to bang as many guys as you can, all the while blaming your ex-husband for your behavior. And you still feel empty. How sad is that? I recommend that you seek professional counseling to fix this void in you before you do something stupid.